And we are live. Okay, everybody, welcome to the stream. Tonight's not going to be quite as long as last night. We're going to probably go about an hour. We have 2 people right now, but we'll probably add more if they jump in. So I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves. So we will start with Jesse.
Well, my name is Jesse Miller. I just like to hang out in chats and talk to all the good people, and hail Caesar.
Yeah, I'm Aldous on the farm, just off of Orwell Lane. War campaign member, blue team member, and hail Caesar.
And y'all know me. So last night's stream took a lot out of me. So tonight we're not going to go quite as long as we normally would go to get some rest. So welcome to the show. And I guess we're going to do some Star Wars talk. Jesse, you said you were looking for some news on Star Wars.
Yeah, I was looking for some news in Star Wars, and of course, they haven't been leaking anything really new lately, but I did turn up that they're saying that the Naked Chef Jamie Oliver is actually going to be a stormtrooper. So I don't know if you heard that one yet. But, of course, they had already had the rumor that Ed Sheeran was going to be one, so they're continuing with that, so he's definitely going to be in there.
I think that's just they're doing anything they can to bump up publicity for the next film because the reaction to The Last Jedi was so terrible. Mm-hmm. So, anything they can do to throw a pop icon underneath a helmet and have, he's in what scene? What scene is he in?
Precisely.
They're going to continue rolling that out because they have no answer for the question from the true fan, which is, how do you fix the mess that movie ended on?
And how do you sleep at night?
Well, I think...
Question.
Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, I was going to say, you can't fix Star Wars. It's too screwed up right now.
I was thinking about having a bunch of us just come together and try to make an outline for a Star Wars movie, if not write an entire movie together. Because, in the time it takes that we all hang out together anyway, we could be doing this.
Well,
this is true.
Where The Last Jedi left off, you've got the Falcon full of the remains of the rebellion. Mm-hmm. There was no response from any of the supposed allies. So, you could use that as a thread, and that the allies were just gathering their forces, and they're slowly building, and you'd have to do a time jump to kind of extrapolate that. And if you do that, maybe you could take some of the other loose threads that were done, like, where's the rest of the Republic fleet? They couldn't all have been around the system that was destroyed in Force Awakens. You could spend maybe 15 to 20 minutes just talking about the general chaos that was erupted immediately upon the destruction of the centralized government. And, you've got military leaders rebelling, you've got systems in disorder, and it's no longer just a conflict against the First Order. It's a conflict against the First Order and restoring order in the Republic, which is now fracturing into fiefdoms. The problem is you can't do that in 2.5 hours.
No, not really.
No, James has got a story he's written. It's kind of like a Star Wars story, but not specifically Star Wars, so that Disney can't copyright that shit. But he's been wanting to do something with that.
What's his story?
Actually, I'm not exactly sure. It's kind of like a Star Wars story. It's a sci-fi story, but it's not specifically Star Wars. James, can you type a little bit about what your story's about in the chat if you're still here?
While we're waiting for James to extrapolate a little on his story, and kind of looking forward to that. That sounds interesting. Jeff Soul in the chat mentioned let's just ignore episodes 7 and 8. That's what the new Terminator movie is going to do. Disney can't do that. The reason the new Terminator movie is doing that is because it's on a different production company. The ownership rights have changed. That new film company wants to erase all of your bad memories and build a new genre, a new theme behind that for that newest movie. Disney can't afford to throw all the money they invested behind those 7 and 8 and just wipe it away. They can't do that. They have to be able to recover somehow. They can't admit defeat.
All right, I sent James a link so he can come in and tell us about his story.
All right.
Greetings, Homework Channel Jeremy.
Hello. I, I I need some cheering up. My Chiefs just lost in overtime.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Did you have any money on it?
Oh no.
Then you should be cheered
No,
up.
I don't do that.
You didn't lose
Right.
any money on it. That should make you cheered up.
Well, you're lucky.
Yeah, but
You're lucky.
I've been waiting a long time to see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Moist lost money tonight.
Well, you got to look at it this way, man. Mahomes is young. Your offense is young. You've got a strong defense. There's a lot of hope. There's a lot of upswing. You finally won a game in Kansas City.
Yeah,
So,
Moist sent me an invitation to join him, and I was on my phone, and then all of a sudden he's like, "I'm pissed. I just lost my bet," and I'm out of here. He shut down the stream.
Well, there's nothing like a moist invitation.
I know, right? He sent me two today, and both times I told him, "You have to send it to my email. I'm on my phone," and he wouldn't send it. He just kept sending it to Twitter. I'm like, oh, I'm not getting up.
How you doing tonight?
We're trying to rewrite Star Wars Episode 9 before it even comes out.
Well, I'll tell you this much. If anybody knows Mara Jade, she has got some amazing scripts written.
You got any details on that one?
You would have to take that up with her. I've done a little bit of reading on it already, but she keeps everything pretty much private, but she is absolutely phenomenal. And I'm telling you, if we wanted to do another Star Wars movie, we have everything we absolutely need. We've got writers, we have painters, Jeff there. I mean, James there, amazing painter. He could paint backdrops. We've got people that can build sets. We've got actors. We've got musicians. The only thing we need are the funds to actually make a decent movie.
That's what crowdfunding is for, and hoping you don't get sued by Disney.
Yeah.
Well, James, that's where you come in. You said you had some stories that Disney couldn't touch. What do you have?
Well, that's why when you write, you don't make any references. Say if I were to say hyperspace instead of hyperspace, I say light speed. I mean, you just come up with new words to reword things so that there's no references. And that's,
like laser sword.
Exactly. And that's what I've done.
This is my hot knife.
I wrote 20 years ago. I wrote a trilogy, and I'm re-editing it, and I'd like to have it either published or do fan films, graphic novels. I'm going to do something with it, so that's my plan.
So we could probably use that to rewrite the whole episode 9 without using any Disney Star Wars.
Well, I think they're shooting themselves in the foot right now because I think Disney knows beyond a shadow of a doubt that episode 9 is DOA. I think, the higher ups know this inside and out. And because, even Bob Iger has no excitement for anything Star Wars now. But I don't think they would ever scrap, anything involving, 7 and 8, because they would actually have to admit, they did something really bad,
No, I'm with you completely on they'll never be able to scrap 7 and 8. I disagree with you on that 9 is DOA. I think its first opening weekend might not be good, but if they truly invest time and they really give a good story, and I think it's possible, you can't fix the whole mess, but you can at least try to make the line as linear as possible. And the road's going to have some bumps, but you can make a good story. And, I to point out, I mean, look at the look at the script for Empire Strikes Back and look at what Kasdan was able to do just with some minor edits. And I think you have an amazing film there. And if they can do something along those lines, it can build momentum and it can grow into something.
Well, the problem, this is what I see. The problem is, I think, they've pulled every character that they can. Every OT character. We're hearing that, Han Solo is going to be back. We're hearing that Luke Skywalker is going to be back, that Lando Calrissian is going to be back. And I think they're just using all of this for marketing, just to get people, into the theater to sell tickets.
Then the second you get in there, it's going to be, can you hear me now? And you're going to go, they're fucking doing it again.
Yeah.
Then you're going to get pissed.
With this, I think this is their last. This is their last chance. I mean, they burned so many bridges with The Last Jedi that, I mean, if they do anything where it's just an upfront fan service to get the ticket purchased, and then they burn you on the back end with the actual quality of the film, they're done. The franchise is dead, and they've got way too much money invested in it to do that. So I can't see a corporate decision maker making that call and letting that happen. I mean, they've got to have people from corporate in the room going, no, you're not doing that. We've got a theme park that we're pouring money into.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We all talk about Kathleen Kennedy and all that, but who is above that whole department when you get onto the Disney side? Because we never discussed those people.
Well, Bob Iger runs everything. He is the CEO of Disney.
But who's between Bob Iger and Star Wars? Because there's a boss between there somewhere.
Actually, Kathleen Kennedy answers directly to Bob Iger, but Bob Iger actually reports to the shareholders, and he has been in hot water with the shareholders lately.
Yeah, they actually redid his contract. If he continues to lose money on the Star Wars stuff, he loses money on his pension when he retires.
Exactly.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
incentive.
both his golden parachute, the size of it is directly impacted by Star Wars now, whereas it used to just be directly impacted by everything.
Right.
So he has a very high vested interest, and that's why I understand. I mean, I'm a diehard fan too, and I hated The Last Jedi, but I have to believe this is a mega corporation that's only goal is to make money. They're not going to shoot themselves in their foot again. They're going to do everything they can. They're going to pull out every stop, and they're going to spare no expense to push money into the script to make it something that's semi-reasonable.
Well, one of the things they could do to make money is instead of making people do these fan films, instead of making them do it for free and all this crap, have it be like a damn royalty thing, the fans could, I was saying this on the Council of Jeremy's yesterday, have the fans be able to freaking, crowdfund or do whatever the hell they want. And then, they put out the movie on YouTube or whatever. And then Disney or, Lucasfilm or whatever gets a percentage, and then everybody's happy. And
here's one of the biggest problems with Disney right now. I did a video on this about 2 months ago. And if you look at how Disney's business practice runs, their first they've got a list. It's a 10-page list, but on the very first paragraph of their business practice, they are supposed to expand by 300% every year. And that includes gobbling as many companies as Disney can get their hands on to buy it up and get it underneath the Disney name so that they can actually own it.
Oh, they're good at that.
Yes. Now, I don't know how old everyone is here, but I remember back in the day, I was born in the 70s, and I remember back in the day hearing about Truman breaking up monopolies left and right. And look at Disney.
Oh, I fully agree with that because they're too big for their britches at this point, and all they do is buy more and more and more companies, and they own half of television.
Well, they own ABC, ESPN, and from what I'm hearing, I don't know if it's true. It's rumors, out there, but I hear that Disney is actually trying to acquire CW.
Really?
Yes.
I thought they were tied up with DC.
I
guess there it doesn't matter intercompany warfare there when the big boys come knocking, though, right?
Well, I don't know if you remember the rumor, years past when Marvel had a chance to actually buy DC. And they could have actually merged their two universes together, which, in my opinion, would have been a disaster.
Oh, yeah, probably. But wasn't that back in the day when Marvel didn't have money to do such a thing?
Yeah.
They were having trouble keeping their own lights on back then.
Yeah. But, as bad as the CW is now, because I'm one of those people, I cannot watch Supergirl. It is the most SJW feminist bullshit I've ever seen in my life, and Flash
all that SJW shit is just so pandering that I don't understand how anyone could even fake that they like it. That's the big problem with it. It's just drivel.
Guys, really
because
quick,
women.
I get each of you to say hi in the chat really quick for me, so I can get your channels and link them in the chat, please and thank you.
I didn't catch that, Monty.
I just wanted to see if everyone on the panel could say hi in the chat, so I can link your channel in the chat.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know what I was thinking earlier that was really starting to worry me? Because I was reading up a little bit to get a couple little things to discuss tonight, but when I stumbled across the thing that Kathleen Kennedy was talking about, a 10-year plan, then I started thinking about all the movies that have been tossed out there and that have already been canceled. It's really making me think that the end of episode 9 isn't even going to be an ending. It's just going to be a continuation because J.J. Abrams doesn't know how to end a damn thing that he ever made. I mean, look at the end of Lost. It was crap. I think it's just going to be literally just like a cliffhanger to the next movie and then just keep going. That's going to be...
I don't see how I don't see how they can fix episode 9, period, because they need to scrap everything because, number one, Disney don't know shit about anything that is Star Wars lore or what came before it because we got someone in the chat, Mazarus. We talk all the time. I am huge on lightsaber lore. And this crap now where, your dark Jedi, Sith, whatever the hell you want to call them, bleed a lightsaber. This is the biggest bunch of bullshit.
What? Bleeding a lightsaber?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about having to, make a lightsaber?
Well, no, what they do now, old canon was, the Sith, they used synthetic crystals. They made their own crystals. They were usually stronger than kyber crystals, and they could actually cancel out a kyber crystal lightsaber a lot of times because they put so much work into their crystals. Well, now the dark side users, they don't do that according to Disney canon. What they do, they steal a Jedi's kyber crystal, they put it in their lightsaber, and they channel the force into it, which bleeds the crystal, and that's how they get the red crimson blade.
That's different than when they said they were just trying to corrupt it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then with the Disney-fied versions of lightsabers, when Kylo Ren struck Finn with that lightsaber, he would have cut him in half. I'm sorry. He would have cut him in half. He wouldn't have been in a Bacta tank.
Looks like a Scottish claymore.
Yeah. I mean, and then, the whole fight scene, in The Last Jedi when, we're in Snoke's chamber, they would have been cutting limbs off. There would have been heads coming off. And
yeah, I hate talking about that scene because it drives me so nuts. But, like, first off, I thought those were going to be the Knights of Ren because that would have made sense because each one of them had a different weapon. But then when they started fighting, they all just, like, it was like watching a dance choreography. It wasn't like watching a fight. It was just totally lame.
Yeah. And then they've slaughtered what the actual Force is. There's no mysticism to what the Force is. Now, anybody can use the Force. And without training, look at Broom Boy, at the end of The Last Jedi,
That was just like, if you believe.
No, and I think we're earlier, and I believe it was Jeff in the chat mentioned, can they scrap episodes 7 and 8? And they can't scrap them completely, but what you can do is you can come in, and this happens a lot in TV series, where, season 1 was a big hit and then season 2 didn't do so well, and they'll bring in some writers and they'll go, well, we know that these things didn't do well. So you just move on. You ignore those threads. You ignore that ever happened. And yes, it is a problem continuity wise, but for a corporation like Disney, they have to go, again, everything they can to put the train back on the rails. And even if we only get the engine, the tender, and a couple of cars, but if we can get motion, then we're fine. And that's probably the way the focus is right now. Because right now you've got, everything's off the rails. You got to put something together and get it moving forward.
Well, there's more problems, though. Disney, they're about to open Star Wars Land in June in Orlando and in California. The problem is everything is built around the First Order in these Star Wars lands. There's no Luke Skywalker. There's no Darth Vader. There's nothing with the OT or the prequels whatsoever in these Star Wars lands.
Nothing you want to go spend money on.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
Exactly. And then in anticipation of these theme parks opening, Disney has raised their price on tickets from between $40 to $60 per ticket for someone to get into the regular theme parks because they are so worried that their Star Wars lands are actually going to just bomb. Because I checked it last night, and they've been taking reservations, for the hotel for the first opening month, and they haven't even filled it by 1/4 yet to the new Star Wars land.
Okay, so I'm on the Disney World page for the new Star Wars attraction for the location in Florida. There are two primary attractions that they're driving right now. At the very top of the page are the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. Prepare for a critical mission as you pilot the Falcon while hurtling through hyperspace. That's a generic tie-in. Everybody associates the Falcon with Star Wars. Nothing wrong there. Second one to Star Wars Dad's. I'm sorry, get your name right there, sir? Wars, yeah, the Star Wars Dad. To his point is the second primary attraction is Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. Immerse yourself in a battle between the First Order and the Resistance. So if we click on that, that takes us to a page that talks about how we're going to be indulged in the terrible fight against the First Order and how we're rising up. And then we immediately move in. We don't talk about anything on the actual ride. We just talk about how John Williams is creating a new and original score. And that's it. That's all the details. So as far as marketing goes, you could flip that real easy and just change that to the Empire and make it a generic ride, right?
Yeah.
So again, I'm just coming at this from a pure corporate view of like they can rebrand and change some things and they can fix a lot of this. It's not hard. They don't have to put out a huge hit movie. They just got to put out a movie that makes money, which based off their track record, they're kind of having a problem with lately.
Yep.
Well, the problem is they've got, as you were talking about that First Order ride, though, they've I keep close tabs on it, and they spent over $20 million just on animatronics for Kylo Ren and various, figures in that ride. So they would have to spend another shit ton of money to actually fix that, to actually be, the Empire. They would have to make maybe they could redress Kylo Ren as Darth Vader or something.
Right, just throw a different helmet on him, throw some buttons and stuff on the front and a black cape. And, how many people going through there are really going to nitpick that? I understand they will, but I'm just saying, like, your average Joe off the street that he's dragging his kids there because they want to go. Those are the people you're worried about. Worry about details later. At this point, we have to fix the brand.
Right.
So we're going to take all of the nitpicky stuff, and I'm going to go a pure streamlined movie. I'm going to do the exact opposite of what JJ did in Star Trek Into Darkness.
Oh, he slaughtered it. He just slaughtered it. I mean,
but I'm going to go the exact opposite way. Instead of throwing everything out and doing all these changes, I'm going to hearken everything back. I'm going to do what they kind of did with Rogue One, because Rogue One to me is the best Disney Star Wars film.
Definitely.
If I look at that, I feel a new hope. I see a new hope. Now, granted, the story's not that great and there are problems, but I'm just saying, like, the feel of that felt like a Star Wars movie. At times, it felt like a Star Wars movie. They need to get that again.
Well, see, I even thought the only thing that saved that movie was the last 10 minutes with Vader going batshit, because to me, I was bored silly throughout that entire movie. I really was, until you actually got, into the space battle above the planet. I was just bored shitless. I'm sitting like, is this movie ever going to pick up? I mean, it was so slow, and the characters were horrible. I mean, they really were. And, Disney's now talking about, making a TV series off of Cassian. I think he was the worst character out of all of them that was in that movie.
Oh, I think you're right on a lot of that, and I'm with you, man. I mean, Rogue One did drag at times.
Yeah, and Cassian Andor was terrible.
The hit when they go and they try, they send the Blue Squadron in to take out the Jen's father at the research station. That was a cool sequence where they're flying into the planet and it's atmospheric combat instead of space combat. That was different. I enjoyed that. But yeah, I mean, the sequences on Yavin 4 where they were talking about, do we or don't we? I thought that was actually kind of interesting because it shows the resistance that are the rebellion. Are we ready to engage?
If anything, they should have made a spinoff of Jyn Erso or Tarkin at that time.
No, see, I think you're onto something there. I think Tarkin's rise up through the ranks would be interesting.
Well, I've always said, if they're going to do any solo movie, everybody wants Obi-Wan, but in my opinion, Obi-Wan, we know pretty much everything that has happened with Obi-Wan, period.
Yeah, and if we get more, it might screw up what we already know.
Well,
exactly.
Dark Paladin Gaming in the chat just mentioned, do Jabba. You can do so much with that. Absolutely.
Oh, hell yeah.
You could open up the entire underworld, open up into
it's a whole race of Hutts. He's only one asshole in the bunch.
But it opens up that whole, and I can't remember, it came out in the late 90s, the Dark Horizon or whatever the mercenary group was. And there was if somebody can help me out, there was an expanded universe book where there was a mercenary group. It was pretty good from what I remember in the late 90s.
Yeah. But I myself, I would love to go back and see like a Qui-Gon Jinn movie and see, how, Yoda trained him and his relationship with Dooku at that time. Mm-hmm. That would, to me, you'd have everything you could possibly want in a movie. You could have force wielding, Jedi and Sith, and then you could have politics in play at the same time, and you could see, the perversion, happening, behind the scenes with Dooku, having his strings pulled. I think that would be a phenomenal movie.
Well, another thing would be that 3113 that George Lucas had the story group working on that I guess it's the underlevels of Coruscant.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the crime lords, and that would have been interesting.
Yeah, whenever I watch a trilogy, I always am entertained most by the middle movie because I feel like it's that spot where you actually get to walk around in the world a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, both
that's what makes it feel real.
To Star Wars Dad and James's point, Mr. Miller and I were on a stream about a week ago where we were talking about, man, how interesting would it be if they were to jump back even further than the prequels and talk about some of the things that you guys referenced there.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to check you very carefully on, like, do you really want Disney going that far back? Because look what happened when we let George go that far back. And I don't want
one of you to go that far back. I don't know about them. Somebody who's like, who cares?
Because I think the other problem with any prequel, and this was my objection to it in that stream, and I'm gonna shorten it down to a summarized version, is when you do a prequel, you have to be so focused on making sure every detail matches, and we can't even get details matching from movie to movie within Disney streams as far as existing universe that's admitted to what they're writing now.
Aldous, who is it that brought up that if you take that same idea and send it way into the future, that it would be a little bit easier?
That was what I was saying. I think
that was your point.
I think you take that concept.
I like
think
that,
you throw
that one.
So you take the concept of doing that and you throw it like 10,000 years in the future, and the Jedi are forgotten and they're being rediscovered through archaeology, history, whatever, and that rebirths the whole Sith Jedi, and you redo the entire history in the future with everything else's mythology that we know. But you can't do that for episode 9. That's for where you have to jump off. You got to clean this up. You got to finish it. You got to make an episode 9 that's at least somewhat cognizant, and then figure out a different direction you take Star Wars, because you broke it. You broke it. There's no way to fix it. You got to go way in the future, in my mind.
I would like to see them do something with Revan, but I want the right people at Disney to be involved with it. Who we've got now would just destroy Revan, and I don't want that.
My problem with that is that the expectations are high.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Hallmark, you go.
I was just gonna say, the sequels or whatever, right? I mean, this is what I tell people, TFA. I was fine with TFA up until the point where Rey pulls out a freaking mind trick out of her ass. Okay, that and the fact that she beats an experienced lightsaber user, her first time holding one, basically, with no training.
I'd expect her to get disarmed.
Although, it could have been explained in episode 8 somehow. But the I could have done without the Star Killer base, because it's like, we already had 2 Death Stars, we didn't need a third one, the size of a whole planet.
My problem with that was they never explained anything about it.
There.
So when we saw the Death Star, we saw one being built. I mean, you're in the Death Star, it wasn't even done yet in the first movie. But like the Star Killer base is just like, okay, here's a planet that's really a space station, and there's no explanation. Then it shoots like these 3 big fucking blasts out of it, and I didn't like anything about that.
But Dark Padawan Gaming says, if Disney turns Rey into Revan, I'm done with Star Wars.
Oh my God, they would too.
Star Wars. I think we would burn them to the ground if they turn her into Revan.
Don't give me any ideas, bro.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, has anyone looked outside, because it is a full eclipse tonight, and I say in the next 20 minutes we're supposed to have a completely red moon.
Yeah,
I have not
I've
looked
got a couple
outside,
of
but I
minutes here,
have
and then I'm
heard
gonna have to
about
step out to go check it out.
If I look outside, all I see is snow, man.
I'm kind of
Look up,
watching it
brother, not
on
down.
my phone on YouTube.
Well, I tell you, James, you know, I'm here in Florida and it's below freezing right now. And it's absolutely killing me because, you know, we're used to at least 60 degrees during this time of year. So,
Almost there, baby. I'm watching it on my phone while I'm doing my live stream.
It's a damn global warming.
I don't want to go outside. It's too cold. And I'm already fighting this flu. I don't want to walk out the door.
Yeah.
Chicken soup and ginger ale.
I'll be right back, Money.
Yeah, I don't want to go outside in this mess.
All right. If you guys got a second, I got a stupid thing I found on the internet today.
Okay.
But you know how like everybody always complains that at the end of the first Star Wars movie, Chewie didn't get a medal?
Mm-hmm.
It said that back in the day, George Lucas actually did some TV spots that were in character, and he explained it. But it says that, let me dig this up here. Chewbacca wasn't given a medal because medals don't really mean much to Wookiees. They don't really put too much credence in them. They have different kinds of ceremonies. The Wookiee Chewbacca was, in fact, given a great prize and honor during a ceremony with his own people. The whole contingent from the Rebel Alliance went to Chewbacca's people and participated in a very large celebration. It was an honor for the entire Wookiee race. Does that sound like the most contrived bullshit answer you've ever heard? Something simple.
And many fried porgs for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And the Ewoks were there.
Well, at the time, Kashyyyk is still held by the Empire, so he went back to his home world. Really?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, in the 70s, there was this thing called cocaine, and it was everywhere.
I love it.
If you want to hang out.
I always thought that was funny because I always asked that question myself. It's like Chewie was right there. I mean, he risked his life along with everybody else.
Well, let me ask everybody this because this is something that pissed me the hell off. How many people actually saw Solo?
No.
I've seen it. I did not pay for it.
I guessed the plot to an SJW dude, and he yelled at me.
All right.
I saw it, and I actually went out of my way to find somebody I knew that owned the DVD to borrow it so that I didn't even watch it on Netflix and give it the view.
Okay.
I didn't want to admit that I saw it, but I like, you know, I had to see Chewie, so.
Well, this is what pisses me off more than anything else. They made Chewie a man-eater.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Chewbacca was feral when he was imprisoned by the Empire. He was eating people when Solo found him.
Yeah, there's a scene where they heavily imply directly that they were feeding deserters and cowards to the monster. And the monster being Chewie.
Well, he must have been hungry that day.
What the fuck?
But yet they can't let him eat a damn pork, please.
Right. No, and it's the conflict, and that's Disney for you, right?
Were they playing Hall and Oates when they did it?
Yeah, you know what? Because they're like, you know who everybody loves? Chewie. You know what? Now he's a fucking murderer. Deal with it. It's canon. Fuck you. That's how Disney. That's how they are.
Well, what Disney's done, they have taken everything that we absolutely love about Star Wars, and they give you just enough truth in our old characters, and then they pervert it.
Yeah, like I really wish you guys didn't even tell me that because that's just bullshit. How much other crap is in this film?
Chewie in the shower with Han Solo.
Doing what?
Oh, was
he man eating him?
Oh no, there's a great shot of their feet together in the shower.
That I've seen as a joke on the internet.
Then
no, you can't make it up, man.
It is heavily implied that Lando is actually having sex with the droid that they actually attached to the Millennium Falcon.
That I know, of course.
Our good friend
Robot
Panda Lando
love.
has been on this channel, and I defer all discussion on Panda Lando to Panda Lando Dung Lover Soy Child. He is an expert on the topic.
It means he's going to molest the computer in episode 9.
Well, it changes everything about canon, too. It changes the fact that we've got an SJW droid that's now hooked to the damn hyperdrive, period.
Yeah, that's the same thing that they just did to Chewbacca that you were telling me about.
Yeah.
They permanently put something in it to taint it.
Yeah.
That's all they do. They need to taint
Well,
everything so they can move on to the taint.
Well, that does make sense, because, C-3PO said that the Millennium Falcon did have a peculiar dialect, so...
John, were you here the other night when I was asking
Never
Mary
thought about
Dallas
that.
what she thought about Han Solo shooting Beckett first? If you weren't here, then you probably don't remember it. She gave the coolest answer because I was asking her what she thought of it. And because I kind of wanted to like that moment, and she kind of just laid it out in one sentence. She said, I thought it was pandering.
Are you serious?
That Han shot Beckett first
Well,
before Beckett finished the sentence.
If she saw it coming like a mile away, then that's pandering. If you don't see it coming a mile away, then it's an homage.
Wow.
You guys have to please excuse me. I got to go on a beer run. It's about 8 steps to my fridge. It takes me about 20 minutes.
All right. You haven't trained your dog yet, James?
James, are you part sloth?
You could probably say that. I'm about half Cherokee. I think I have rights on the reservation, probably.
Well, while runs like sloth goes and fetches a beer.
Runs like sloth.
Well, if I can get my damn dog to do it, then that would solve the problem. But he's later than I am, so.
So runs like sloth, speaks like cat, but owns dog. Is going to go get himself a beer. Star Wars Dad, I'm kind of curious, going back to something you mentioned earlier about the theme park. Given the storyline that you know for the First Order Resistance ride, do you view any way they can manipulate the story for the next movie to be cohesive?
I think they've taken on too much to make this next movie cohesive, especially if the rumors of Mara Jade are actually correct. Because how in the world are you going to bring Mara Jade in after the fact of Luke Skywalker?
God.
Yeah. I mean, how are you going to do that? And
insultingly.
All you're doing is discrediting both characters. So,
And if I could stop you there, just Hallmark Jeremy, is there a Hallmark card that we can get that fits this moment?
If there is, it's very expensive.
So we're outside of the $3.99 route.
Oh yeah. It would have to be one of those, multiple, basically like a little book, type of, multiple pages. Yeah,
So you're talking a short story just as an apology.
Basically, yeah.
Well, in my opinion, guys, all of us, we bitch about Kathleen Kennedy all the time about her decision making. But I think, yes, Kathleen Kennedy's horrible, but in my opinion, our true enemy, though, is Pablo Hidalgo, because he's the one that has the final say on everything creative and as far as what gets canonized. So, yeah, Kathleen Kennedy's running Lucasfilm, but it's Pablo Hidalgo that has final say for anything that's actually canonized and anything that's actually they take everything to him and they're like, well, this fit in the canon, and he gives the okay or the no, that's not going to work.
That feels like a bouncer at the door of a club full of drunks.
Yeah. Yeah.
On that note, I'm back.
That was fast, actually.
Jeff said, didn't Pablo Hidalgo get fired?
We have no clue. There's been no confirmation.
When did that shit come up? I didn't hear that.
We can neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything either way on that either.
He's like their one saving grace. They can't do that. It's like suicide.
I mean, Stephanie
Pablo had a lot to do with the...
But we just don't know.
What are you saying, Hallmark?
I was gonna say I've seen Pablo's name on a lot of the cross section books and stuff like that. I mean,
well, Hidalgo is the universe binder. He's supposed to keep everything in line and make sure everything fits. Obviously, he's doing an excellent job.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Should
have thrown it
in
a blender. Fuck it.
Position in the first place.
Hold on while I take a Hidalgo.
By the way, Bonnie, I'm still arguing with that guy on that one page.
You know what? I hate your profile picture because it actually makes him look cool.
Who?
Is that supposed to be Kylo Ren on Mazarus?
God, no. That's Luke Skywalker's top EU student, Kip Duran.
Really? I never read those books.
You're an EU fan?
Oh, yeah.
See, the first time I ever read one of those EU books, it was horrible, and I got turned off immediately, and I missed out on a lot of good shit because of that.
I've been with it since the Zahn trilogy. In fact, way back then, George Lucas made a very brief statement that he later retracted that the Zahn trilogy was supposed to be 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah.
Just in the context of, well, I'm not going to make the movie 7, 8, and 9, so I let I let an author write it.
Okay.
But it didn't really.
Are you on Twitter?
Huh?
Are you on Twitter?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You should send me that because or a link or something to some of that because I want to buy it.
Yeah, Maze is my. He's my.
I'm your what?
You're my Twitter buddy. You know, we attack the same people. So.
Oh, dude, Twitter is a huge cesspool.
Yeah.
So wade in freely.
Yeah, it is, and I'll probably get kicked off of it sooner or later. That's why
Dude, don't even worry about it. You know how many times I've been in Twitter jail? It ain't nothing but a thing.
There's only so many twats you can retweet.
Yeah, right? Just bring paper towels. It's Twitter.
I just, as far as Lucasfilm is concerned, where it comes to Pablo Hidalgo and Luke, I just get real tired of the same old bullshit excuses as to why Luke had to die and die the way he did. And it all comes back to the same nonsense, which can be easily refuted, which is Luke Skywalker, the fans would have focused too much on him. Bullshit. If you had written the new characters correctly and given them a little bit more of a better story arc, Luke could have just been a side character like Yoda was in the original trilogy. You could have just marched him off into the sunset at the end of episode 9. He didn't have to be a part of the galaxy by the end.
Yep.
I don't know who the fuck thinks that it has to be like that.
You know, they did the same thing they did to John Locke on Lost, really. They set this person up to be something great, and then at the very end, they just switch it and make them do nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing.
Well, we have something to be excited about because I am hearing rumors they're going to be filming a new Battlestar Galactica movie and not the sci-fi Battlestar Galactica, but I'm talking
the old school 70s version.
Yes,
that shit's good shit. If anybody
Yeah.
hasn't seen that, that's something that's actually worth going back and looking at because it's very fun. It's like it's almost like movie quality 70s sci-fi on TV.
Yeah, and
Not the "So Say We All" version. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
I thought the Cylons were cool.
they were awesome. You know, the whole premise behind, you know, you couldn't get any better. You had Lauren Green, you know, that was running everything, and then all the crew that went behind that. I mean, you couldn't do any better. But the story was there. That's the important thing. You had a great story along, you know, put to something sci-fi. And I think it only ran 2 seasons because I think they ran out of funding.
They'll, you know what happens? When they get rid of the sets, it costs too much to build them again.
Gotcha.
Let's see a crossover and see Twiggy from Buck Rogers take out some Cylons. Biggie.
Well, guys, I got to thank Bonnie for letting me on. I really appreciate the conversation. Star Wars Dad, looking forward to hear. I'm not familiar with you. I'm going to look you up. I really I enjoyed what you had to say.
Appreciate it.
Same with you, Miserius. Hallmark Jeremy, as always, and James. Wish you the best there on your trips to the beer fridge, brother. Bonnie, thank you again. If I could just do a shout out, not for my own channel, but for War Campaign, check us out. We're in the Comicsgate group. Appreciate the time. Thanks so much again. Great conversation, guys. Sorry I got to bail. It sounds like it's going to continue to be engaging. So thank you again.
Well, actually, I'm getting ready to let everybody kind of plug their channel because it's getting kind of close to 12, and I kind of want to end this a little bit earlier tonight and get some rest so that I can function a little better, hopefully tomorrow. So I'll let Jesse go next and plug his channel.
All right, I'm easy because I don't really make YouTube videos yet. So if you want to look at my channel, click on my name. If not, don't. But what I'd really like you to do is go check out a website called IndieCron. It's got a list of all of the Comicsgate comic books, and there's really something for all tastes there. And we strive to only let people post there if they have a propaganda-free comic book that's really, you know, just right down the middle and is good for everybody that you can allow your kids to read or you could enjoy yourself. So check that out. Hail Caesar.
James?
Yeah, I do live stream painting with James, 6 o'clock Eastern on Wednesdays, where I'm painting acrylics on canvas, doing Star Wars media, and I also do my writing, and I talk about my stories sometimes. And I throw in some karaoke from time to time. But thanks for having me on, Bonnie.
No problem. Hallmark Jeremy?
Yeah, sorry, I'm a little too talkative tonight. A little bit of a tension headache going on after rooting for the Chiefs. Yeah, please check out my channel. My goal, or whatever you want to say, is to discuss anything from stuff, you know, veterans issues, news, sports, movies, politics, and life in general. Also on my Twitter, I'm listed under Shellback TJC, aka Hallmark Channel Jeremy. So check out my Twitter too, please.
Star Wars Dad?
Pretty much everyone here, you know, on the channel pretty much knows me. I'm John, the Star Wars Dad. Just like Maze on here, Mazarus, I am a walking encyclopedia of the EU. But besides that, I am a huge Transformers fan. And I know the lore of Transformers inside and out also. My channel started off, I passed my love of Star Wars down to my son, and that's how we started. My son is on the channel quite a bit. His name is Darth Cody. But when he's not here, I have steered the channel in different directions. There will always be a Star Wars channel, but every Sunday I'm starting a series, parenting in an SJW world. What's right, what's wrong, and how to raise your children right in an SJW world. So,
Mazers. Maze.
Sorry, I when I said I was going AFK a second ago. What was the question?
We're just plugging our channels, and you'll probably revert to somebody else's channel, knowing you.
No, actually, this little bickering match I've had with this dingbat over on one of those G&G videos, I'm probably going to publicize it soon in the next couple of days, so you can check out my channel for that. There's going to be a lot of live reading from some of the best parts. This is a guy that Stephanie and I believe is somewhere on the inside of Lucasfilm. It's public information, but I don't want to bill it as that. I want to be very careful about what I say as far as I know for sure he's on the inside, because I don't. He could just be some dingbat arguing with me.
Okay, cool. So y'all know this channel, but there's going to be a little bit of changes going on starting next week on Monday. I will not be doing a 10:30 live stream. Instead, I will be going live at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. We are going to start a show with myself and a couple other guests. We are going to be talking about planets, aliens, UFOs, that kind of thing. And then Thursday night at 5 p.m., we're going to be talking about paranormal stuff. But we will continue the other shows as regular at 10:30 Tuesday and Wednesdays. And Saturday at 2 p.m., we will be doing our first council meeting with Odin as our first guest. And the only reason I'm changing this up is because hopefully the way things are looking, Craig from Reviews for You should be starting his live streaming soon, the way he's been putting up his videos. And I go on his channels on Mondays and on Thursdays. So I just wanted to kind of change things up since I won't be live streaming at night on my channel during those times. So if anybody in the chat is interested in coming on the channel Monday and Thursday to talk about those subjects, please contact me on Twitter or at my email, because I would love to have you on. I am trying to build up a group of people that would be interested in that subject and talking about it. I've also reached out to a group that has a YouTube channel that I'm connected to on Twitter that does nothing but ghost mysteries, paranormal stuff, and see if I can get them to come on my channel as somebody that most people have never heard of. So hopefully that'll work out and I can bring them on, because they have a lot more information and a lot more things that they can talk about.
Bonnie, what time Eastern Standard Time are you looking at doing that?
It's going to be 5 p.m. Eastern on Monday and 5 p.m. Eastern on Thursday.
All right.
But the rest of the times Saturday, like I said, that's going to be 2 p.m. I will still do my 10:30 stream on Saturday, but the 2 p.m. stream is going to be for the council meeting. So, but Tuesday and Thursday, I will not live stream at 10:30 p.m. They're the only 2 days I will not be on at night. The rest of the week, I will be on at 10:30. So, thank you all for coming tonight, and I hope you enjoyed the stream tonight.
Well, thank you, Bonnie.
Nice.
Yeah, thank
It
you.
was my pleasure.
I had a good time tonight. It was a good conversation.
All right, we will see you all tomorrow.
All right, guys. Everyone have a good night.